Let's work now on class discussion 1, identifying numbers as rational or irrational. Let's start with the definitions of this term. So the first one is, what is a rational number? A rational number is a number that can be expressed as a ratio of two integers, which means can be written as a fraction. Or another way of describing rational numbers is it is a number that is either a terminating decimal or repeating decimal. So examples here, so on the second definition using that one terminating decimal, I would say 0.75 is an example of terminating decimal. Or an example of a repeating decimal would be 0.333. So 3 is repeated. In terms of the first definition, I can write a ratio of two integers or as a fraction. So all fractions are rational numbers. I can have 1/2, can have 2/5, negative 3/7, or whole numbers or integers can also be called rational numbers. Like for example, 5, negative 3, negative 7. Now, why are they also called rational numbers? It's because there's an imaginary number for all of these numbers. So 5 can be written as 5 over 1. Negative 3 can be written as negative 3 over 1. And negative 7 can be written as negative 7 over 1, which is also on a fraction. Or another example for a rational number, when you have square root of 4, because there is a square root of 4, which is actually equal to 2, therefore square root of 4 is also a rational number. So when you simplify square root of 4, there is a square root, therefore it is a rational number because 4 is a perfect square. So those are some of the examples of rational numbers. The second one is, let's describe what is an irrational number. A number that cannot be expressed as a ratio. Cannot be expressed as a ratio of two integers, or when you cannot convert that into a fraction, therefore it is irrational. Another way of describing an irrational number in terms of decimals, it is both non-terminating, it means it does not end, and it also non-repeating. Take note that it has to be both for you to say that it is irrational number. It does not end and it is also not a repeating decimal. So examples here are pi. Pi is an example of an irrational number because it's 2 point something and it's non-terminating and non-repeating decimal. All numbers that do not have roots are also irrational numbers. Like for example, square root of 2, square root of 5 can have cube root of 7, cube root of 10, and so on. So all numbers that cannot be expressed as a ratio of two integers are called irrational numbers. So let's now try to have these examples here. But how will you use a calculator in identifying rational and irrational numbers? So let's now look at the first one, 5.7 plus square root of 7. Identify whether the result here is an irrational or irrational number and try to justify your answer. Now, how can we use a calculator here? So you just use math, press math. Okay, and press enter. Okay, 2 times. So I'll just show you. Okay, so you just press this one, math, and this two. Okay, so press this first, then press this one 2 times. So these are the 2 buttons of the calculator that you have to remember. So let's now enter the first one. So you have 5.7 plus second square root of 7, and just press enter. Now, so this one is approximately 8.345751. Okay, now let's now use how to identify that this one is rational irrational using the buttons in the calculator, math, enter 2 times. I will just press math, enter twice, 1, 2. Now, if it is giving me the same decimal, it means that you are not able to convert this one into a fraction, so which means it is an irrational number. So I would just say that this one is approximately 8.34575131, and this one is non-terminating and non-repeating decimal. So I can say that 5.7 plus square root of 7 gives me an irrational number. Now justify your answers. So I can say now that this is irrational since it cannot be expressed as a ratio of 2 integers. Or another way of saying this, it is because it gives us a non-terminating, it is a non-terminating, non-repeating decimal. Non-terminating and non-repeating decimal. So that would be the justification. You just use the definition to justify your answer. The second one is just like enter that in the calculator. So you have here 8.25 minus 5 times second square root of 16, and press enter. Now use now again math, enter, whether you can actually convert this into a fraction. I will just press math, enter twice, 1, 2, and this one gives you equal to negative 47 over 4. So since you were able to transform or express this as a ratio of 2 integers, therefore this one is an irrational number. So I would say that this one is a rational number since it can be expressed as a ratio of 2 integers, or can say that this one is a terminating decimal. That's it.